Welcome back, everyone. Okay, to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast, as I used to say back in the day. I don't know. Well, it was sent in. Let's start this thing. It was started. Hold on, let me just turn up volume a little bit. It was sent in by my good friend Matthias CZR01, of course from the Czech Republic, in case you haven't realized the CZR port, except, you know, being Czech, I heard, is a mental disorder, but the people that I heard that from are not to be trusted, so we'll trust Matthias to be doing well. Anyway, his friends are Elusive Man playing as Wehrmacht, who's playing as Wehrmacht, as you can see. Friends are Elusive Man and Captain Link Jimmy. Now, Captain Link Jimmy and Elusive Man are his buddies. I am 100% certain that they are playing as a pre-made, so yeah, we're gonna have a good one. Well, the enemies are Professor 13, Soviet Union, Namlu, which, kind of a fun name. I don't know, I think it sounds interesting. Namlu. Sounds like something that's Korean or Japanese. He's the United States, of course, which is not a Korean or Japanese thing, and Genesis, so as a Brit. So we have all the factions, actually. Damn. I wonder if they're ever gonna they're gonna release a third Axis faction. Of course they're not. That's for Company of Heroes 3 if that ever comes out. Anyway, the map is Edelbrock Station. Of course, everyone loves Edelbrock Station, especially when the MG does not go in the station. I think the pathfinding might have fucked with this MG a little bit. This Vickers looked like it was going for the building, but it looks like it got kind of screwed. So we have the Assault Grenadiers instead going into the building, but of course there's actually a lot of Allied infantry swarming all over the place. But there is a nice flank coming in from Jimmy with the Sturm Pioneers. Of course, the machine gun was setting up, and now it's going to have to get the hell out of there. But there's a lot of, again, as I said, a lot of Allied infantry, so tons of rifles that can put down these Sturm Pioneers like rabid dogs, and they're going to need to go and run away. Now, Assault Grenadiers are going to need to get out of the building because they can't exactly face all that firepower and move long range. In the north, it looks like the Germans did cap the VP slightly, but there's a little tiny passage in the wire because the conscripts are recapturing the VP, and we have a Soviet machine gun up in the northern house, just facing some Grenadiers on the other side, but the Grenadiers can't exactly do shit right now, so there goes that possibility. And in the center, again, we still have this battle going on. The Germans are controlling the station building, but the Allies have actually got the long-range firepower advantage, so that's not exactly ideal for the Nazis. The trading, I'm guessing, is not really going in their favor because, again, MP-40s are long range, while riflemen are in their element. However, there is a mortar coming in from Elusive Man, and he's going to start to shell, I'm guessing, yeah, the building over here with the infantry section, doing quite a bit of damage, and forcing them to get the hell out. Nice smoke from... I have no idea what that's... Was that the mortar? Well, that was a bit of a counterproductive smoke from Bias. But the Universal Carrier over here is gonna get out of the central location and start to put down some fire on the not the Volks Grenadiers, the Sturm Assault Grenadiers. Yeah, I got my Grenadier objectives a little wrong over here. Yeah, the mortars are doing quite a bit of damage, but it appears that the Allies have a bit of a upper hand right now. Oh, that's a good shot, taking out 3 riflemen. In the north, there's still a bit of skirmishing going on, but nothing really too major. Just some exchanges happening at the BP. You know, conscript squad comes in, takes out the Grenadiers or Stern Pioneers come in and take out the conscripts, and that's kind of a back and forth. The real action is really going on south over here. This rifleman needs to get the hell out of there because it probably got smashed by these mortars. There's 3 mortars for the Nazis, and they are providing quite a bit of supportive fire. To be honest, I was not expecting this many mortars to be effective, but actually it appears that this is a great decision, because it is allowing the Germans... You guys should probably get the hell out of here. Okay, I'm having to constantly go back and check my audio just in case my microphone decided to be retarded. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. Again, I'm not quite sure with this smoke. I'm guessing he wants to make it difficult for the Universal Carrier to put down fire, but no, whatever. I see. We have a mortar pit coming from the Brit. This is an understandable choice. Also, very good, very good play over here by the American. Getting out this ambulance and getting it up front and center is good because they are right now taking heavy damage again from these mortars, but it is quite easy to not get wiped by the mortars and just go back to the ambulance and replenish your guys. And the Germans, with having invested this much manpower into so many indirect fire, are not going to have the sort of staying power required to deal with the constantly reinforcing Allied infantry. At least that's the idea. In fact, the other idea, the one with the 3-inch mortar emplacement, also seems like it's... Oh! It's a Nazi clown car! It's been a long time since I've seen something like this. I love this actually. I used to love the like putting Panzer Grenadiers in the 250 half track. It's the Mechanized Regiment group. Really Pogger's ability, in my opinion. So yeah, Matthias has gone for the Mechanized Assault Doctrine. So of course the Tiger at the end with the Mechanized Assault Group and the Assault Rangers, which the Assault Rangers are coming out from. Holy shit, now the 250 half-track has an MG42. Been used to. Yeah, this puts out a lot of firepower, and this is exactly in its element, but like, it's gonna die. unless there is no munition. Wait, what? Oh, requires at least 1 tier upgraded. Understandable. So yeah, honestly surprised that this didn't do more damage, but does it still have this penalty? Okay, so... Okay. Half-tracks used to have a penalty to infantry that was riding them. That was like minus 50% accuracy or something. I wonder if this is still the case. Also, ooh, mortar half-track to counter the mortars with the white phosphorus. Also a pretty good decision, but you must be thinking that like maybe the Germans are, you know, moving forward with their plans and trying to do something else. Yeah, this definitely doesn't seem like the damage that will be coming out of Assault Grenadier, Panzer Grenadiers normally. But here comes the Assault Grenadier grenades, and that forces the entire blob to retreat. We do have the Universal Carrier still putting in fire, and we do have an AEC. I saw it coming on the minimap, so this is going to be the end of the SKFZ 250 half-track, the Zunderkraft Fahrzeug 250. Oh, he gets the Grenadiers out though, so takes no damage to the infantry, only loses the mobility. This is honestly quite fine. Ooh, is it though? Now the Mechanized Assault Group is 490 manpower and 20 fuel. So it's not quite as expensive as a full-on 251 half-track, but it's not as good because you can't upgrade it with the Grenadiers. Oh no, Jimmy... Yeah, you're not doing this correctly. Why was the supply half-track all the way up there? Nobody knows. But it looks like Jimmy was microing in the middle. He had sent in his guys to support the south. Good move, but unfortunately he was immediately beset upon by this Vickers using the suppressing fire. And that did not allow his infantry to really do that much damage to the 3-inch mortar emplacement. 3-inch mortar emplacement, which has upgraded the second mortar, and yeah, it used the brace structure to survive the incendiary grenade. Sorry, incendiary grenade. I'm too used to, you know. I'm too used to Empire and Ramos saying incendiary grenade. We do have some Fallschirmjägers on the field, but it appears they're getting fucking destroyed by the guards infantry with Thompsons? What? Okay, I did not know that this was a thing. Apparently the assault guards? They didn't used to have the icon. Right. Okay, well, I guess it's the assault guards. They just decided to make them a little bit different. Didn't they used to have PTSHs back in the day? Oh well, I guess it is fitting with the theme of Lend-Lease to have them have Thompsons. Maybe they always had Thompsons. No, they had PPSHs, I'm sure. They had Babjas. Oh well, now they have Thompsons. Fine. That is very fine. In fact, I hope that the allies can use that well, because I used to love the assault guards. Again, oh, he upgraded with the ZSU, so okay, so there's a lot of light vehicle memento coming in from the allies. I'm not really too in favor of this because this is still Edelbrock Station. Like, these things are very vulnerable with very, very little sort of space of maneuver. There's a lot of enclosed streets, kind of narrow passages. If some random German light vehicle or tank flanks these guys, it's gonna kill all of them. Yeah. Or maybe if they get like caught out by the Panzer Grenadiers, like as you can see, the AC armored car is trying to get out. It barely manages to because the Panzer Grenadiers were kind of derping. The Panzer Grenadiers do decide to go after the 3-inch mortar emplacement though, and it does have the brace structure. It really should be popping that brace structure right now. It is popped. We have the ZSU half-track just mowing down the Volksgrenadiers, so they have to get the hell out of there. The other Volksgrenadiers have to get out, and now the Panzer Grenadiers are also dying, but the Panzerschreck is obtained by the Sturm Pioneers, and the mortar emplacement goes down. So I would say that this is overall a Nazi victory, but they are still pushed back, so the ground still belongs to the Allies. We have another push coming in from American man over here, Namgu, and he is going to steal this MG42, which is obviously going to be pretty great. Well, those Grenadiers say no. But can the Axis secure the machine gun? Probably not, because the Allies are swarming with infantry in the middle of Cap region. Assault guards are coming in to try to assault, but it looks like there's a lot more assault with the Fallschirmjägers and the Assault Grenadiers on the Axis side than there is on the Allied side, so yeah, looks like the Axis assault is going to be a little more effective than the Allied assault, and the Allied assault is going to run away. We do have an AT gun not doing anything, but the Germans don't really have any vehicles right now on the field. We do have Jimmy with the Sheriff Panzer headquarters with the Panzer authorization coming right up. He does have 70 fuel, so we can probably go for... honestly, I would hold off power him. Like right now, my instinct would be get a Stuka, but maybe a Panzer IV or a Jagdpanzer would be better than a Panther than waiting for a Panther, because it's not like the Panther can maneuver. Germans are down to 300 points. Of course, this is because the Allies have had sort of the infantry superiority most of the game, so they've been able to cap the VPs. Not really sure what the Axis could be doing to come back from that. Except just, you know, kind of go for the late game and try to get some good vehicles out. We do have the Tiger possibility again from Matthias. Matthias, who is now upgrading the Battle Phase 3, hasn't gotten any Stug E's, which is probably a good idea. Maybe we're gonna see him call one off right now, but no, it doesn't look like he's doing it. He will be going for the Panzer, Heavy Panzer Corps, most likely. Maybe for the Panzerwerfers? Maybe for the Panthers? Who knows? And yeah, just trying to get some wipes, some cheeky opportunity wipes, holding one VP securely so that the allies can't bleed them out too quickly, and then moving to get some big vehicles later down the line. And possibly some rocket launchers as well, is what I would do if I were the Axis. If I were the Allies, I would honestly try to sort of focus on my unit preservation for my infantry, because the infantry right now is doing very well for the Allies. These assault guards, sometimes they have to run away, but overall they're doing quite fine, especially the American guy is doing okay, so perhaps upgrading some BARs, or actually no, some light machine guns, of course. He is the infantry company. So the M1919 light machine guns is the only good thing you've got. Except the police could also be useful later down the line if the Germans do go for some of those self-propelled rocket artillery pieces. Now, the Panzer IV is on the field for Elusive Man, and I am a simple man. I do like my Panzer IVs, but Elusive Man is floating Guerrillian manpower, so he should probably get out some machine guns and anti-tank guns, I'd say, right about now. Like, it's a suboptimal move because of all the mortar half-track nonsense. Also, the 3-inch mortar has been rebuilt, but to be honest, they're having problems with infantry, and machine guns would help. And tank guns are always good, so investing 800 manpower into those things when you have 1,000 manpower doesn't seem so bad. But it appears that Elusive Man is going to be focusing on building up a Panzer IV fleet, also because he is the Storm Doctrine, which is certainly an interesting decision. Definitely not the most meta pick you've ever seen in your life. So, oh yeah, he's got the anti-tank recoil mine, which never get used. God damn, these white phosphorus rounds are really annoying for Axis support weapons, which is, I guess, part of the reason why we don't have any anti-tank guns or machine guns coming out of them. So yeah, he does have the Regal anti-tank mines, but mainly I think he picked it for the LEFH and the Stuka bombing strike, which is it's always good to have the Stuka bombing strike. Later down the line, he's gonna be in a good position to use whatever munitions he has to deal with excessive light turtling around an ambulance. And it looks like the Allies are doing that a lot, so I understand the urge of having at least a bombing strike. Now, we do have some supply drops coming in for Cressor. He does have a mechanized armor Campania. He's got a Katyusha out on the field. It's already fired once, so the Nazis know that it's there. There's a Command Panzer IV. Am I right? No, it's a Panzer IV with armored skirts. Is that why the icon is different? Panzer IV Alps J? Honestly, kind of weird. Whatever. Panzer IV for the OKW. So, as I expected, not going for the Panther right away. Now, this does kind of open up the possibility for the Allies to counter all these Panzer IVs with some Jacksons, which I think they should take. Or perhaps Sherman Firefly. Genesis does have the Tier 3, the company command first. Oh no, he's actually picked Hammer Tactics still, but likelihood he's gonna go for the Comet, and he's got the ADRD. So, Engineer Company, or whatever, selected, Engineer Regiment. And, yeah, that would be, as I said, again, problem with Edelbruck Station, really difficult to run away. In this case, the Edelbruck Station map design did come into his favor because he was just stuck behind the street angle, but he was lucky that the Panzer IV missed the shot. If the Panzer IV hadn't missed that shot, the mortar half-track, that 2-1 would be dead. Fallschirmjäger's coming in with the extra Fallschirmjäger Gedea 42s, but they're just running into close range with the Thompson. The Thompson at close range just outperform those FG-42s. And here comes the rocket from the Katyusha, doing quite a bit of damage, but not wiping anything, which was kind of unlucky. It was a well-placed Katyusha. Oh, the Panzer IV hit a mine! And here comes the ABC perfectly exploiting this, getting the main gun destroyed on the P4 and finding the kill. Very well done from the AEC. Nice usage of mines from, looks like the Soviets. Very, very nice usage of the mines. Also, very fast response time bringing up these 57mm anti-tank guns, and this is 76. So things are looking really omega bad for the Nazis. There's the triple cap, which means that they have a couple of minutes, or ooga booga, yeah, no, a couple of minutes left on the clock. Good. They do have a couple of minutes left on the clock, but we know that it's not going to last a couple of minutes of this, so I just spoiled myself, and well, I spoiled it too. It's unfortunate how this thing is still around there, and there's no way to hide it. Yeah, if Relic ever gets to do Company Heroes free, they really do need to, like, get some basic features on the free plenty. Like, whatever. Panzer Grenadiers of Panzerschrecks miraculously not smashing this AEC to bits. And looks like they're dying. Very lucky, to be honest, to not have gotten this squad wiped. We have a... What is this? This does not appear to be a light artillery. What was that, actually? Was that like the... no, that's a Wehrmacht Panzer IV. What was that artillery barrage, though? Must have been a light artillery barrage, but it's not on cooldown, and that did not look like a light artillery barrage to me. Was that a major? The major just RD'd his own position. What a Chad. Anyway, we do have two Panzerwerfers from Matthias. Actually, one of them got 13 kills, which I missed. So yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting Matthias to go for, the Heavy Panzer IV. This is, I think, a pretty good decision. Because the Allies are, again, relying very heavily upon these masses of infantry huddled around the ambulance, huddled around the 3-inch mortar emplacement protecting it, and the Axis camp. He did buy the fucking Stuggy assault gun. The little stubby. Why did there a 57mm anti-tank on? I guess it was stolen earlier and being moved, or that had a Nazi? Yeah, it had a Nazi. I don't like this Stuggy purchase at all, but whatever. Here comes the Panzerwerfer on the guns. No, on the mortar emplacements. Nice. The building goes down, which means that the Allies can't really use that anymore. And the brace structure goes down, which means that no mortar rounds are falling on the Axis troops for a while. I really, really despise this Stuggy choice at 21 minutes in the game, because by now the Allies are of course going to get some armor of their own. We have an MCHA, M4C Sherman, fucking Lend-Lease Sherman, the greatest Sherman ever. Yeah, I believe it's actually the best Sherman in the game. Problem, he sent it in alone with no assault guard support against the entirety of the, you know, Taiwan #1 army or whatever, because Jimmy is Taiwanese. So he got it panzerfausted, but there doesn't appear to be many anti-yoke counters right now on Jimmy's side, so he survives. And as I said, very, very vulnerable, especially to things like this Jackson, which is coming in and trying to hunt him down like a dog. It appears that these assault grenadiers are pushing things very far. Okay. Again, Edinburgh Station. Gotta be careful of the pathfinding. Is it going to be spotted? No, it's not going to be spotted, and here comes the AVRE to troll the PaK-40. But the PaK-40 trolls the AVRE right back. Oh, if only it had If only it had used target weak point, maybe it would have been able to actually destroy the AVRE, but yeah, Pack 40, proving its superiority once again. And right now, the strategic balance as a whole seems to be shifting slightly towards the Germans. We still have the... Ooh, this is really, really good. Oh, this is so epic. He's using the Storm Doctrine with the camouflage kits or whatever, the ambush training. Nice. So he's got his Grenadiers camouflaged on the VP so that when they come and they, start to cap the VP, he can uncamouflage and get some deadly bursts with those MG42s because they get an accuracy bonus when they do that for the ambush shot. I believe it's an accuracy bonus. Wait, can they only upgrade one MG42 if they have the ambush camouflage? Because it appears like he can't upgrade another MG42 or... Can Grenadiers maybe just not upgrade 2 MG42s anymore? I'm just too much of a fucking company here, Sweet Boomer. Too many patches came out since I played regularly. Anyway. Major capping in the middle. Easy decision. Just to, put a little bit of extra VP pressure off of the Nazis. Panzer IV in the middle is still doing fine. Oh no, what am I seeing? Holy shit. Who does he think he is? Napoleon Bonaparte? He's got 3 fucking LEFHs. Oh, and, right, this is combined with 2 Panzerwerfers. This is gonna be a lot of artillery fire. This is, I think... Oh, man. Both sides kind of played blind into each other, and it looks like the Germans got the better of it. What do I mean? Both sides didn't exactly know what the other's strategy was, right? The Allies guessed that it was going to be some, like, regular Nazi vehicle revolt thing, so they got some hefty anti-vehicle options like the M4C Sherman and the Jackson. Of course, with the trolling of the AVRE. The Germans instead went for a heavy artillery build on 2 of their players, and this is of course going to be excellent against what the Allies were doing with their infantry and the replacements. Now this Panzer IV is not having a good day. It gets trolled epically by the AVRE. But the smoke run allows it to escape. Of course, there wasn't really much follow-up for the AVRE. I guess the AEC could have tried to suicide to get to kill, but he's keeping the AEC around, I'm guessing to use the target weak point and the general defend the AVRE from any vehicle rushes. Which is, I suppose, not the worst use for an AEC. It never occurred to me to use it in this way, but I'm like... Now, the Allies are also, I'm seeing, responding with some artillery of their own. We've got some, yeah, again, one of those mortar hatchers is still alive. We have the Priest, but as we all know, the Priest is, like, not... Ooh. Is that the British thing? The anti-vehicle flame barrage. Or not anti-vehicle, anti-building. Barrage. Well, this appears to be... This is not exactly the most... These people don't appear to be extremely concerned about the fire issue. Yeah. Oh no! Oh! Hans! Okay, no. Well, this appears to be incredibly effective. Okay, I need to do something. Okay, I am back. Ah! Okay, so, what the hell is going on here? We have the Panzerschrecks actually going after that AVRE. Looks like it's going to be a kill. Well, that's a big L for the Brits who... They were building a Firefly and they're out of units. Right, this is very unfortunate for the British. So as I said, the build of spamming out random artillery things seems to be working out. In fact, it seems to be working out very well for these. The Brits are out of units. The Americans aren't exactly out, but they're almost out, and they've lost the mortar half-track. This Jackson is kind of in big trouble because the P4 is still able to get some good damage off on it, especially at close range. The AEC has to pump smoke to save the Jackson. Can they actually take out P4? No, they cannot. And we have the Stuggy popping some rounds into there. Yeah, I don't really see how the Allies now can turn us around. I guess medium tanks can would be like the safest bet. Because we do have one Panther for subsea. It would be pretty bad if the Allies go ahead and get like a million M4C Shermans. You can get another one. Just buy it. Just buy it, please. If we have another M4C Sherman from the Soviets, if we have some, I guess, regular Sherman, I guess this guy can still go with the Jacksons. And Comet from the British, I suppose. He actually finished the Firefly. This is, he's severely lacking in anti-infantry, which is the reason why I'm not sure about this Firefly. Also, again, you remember what I said about Edelbrock Station being kind of difficult to maneuver in with your vehicles? Well, especially for the Firefly. I mean, this thing is already difficult to maneuver with normally. So, I don't know. Just not the map in which I would, like, think the Firefly would be the best choice. This thing really just needs open spaces. If you're gonna go for the Firefly, you're gonna need to use it in the southern portion of the map as well, not in this region. But oh well, what can I say? What can I do? Yeah, no clue. Anyway, the M4C is coming out, the second one. This is a great choice in my opinion. Unfortunately, he's kind of stuck with the M4C in the northern side of the map, which is the worst place for it. Ooh, nice wipe. Nice wipe. I also am seeing some counter battery, looks like. Oh yeah, one of the LEFHs is down, and the second one is being shelled. We have some counter battery coming in from the Priest. Being used manually, while the LEFH is actually turned on, or, well, that LEFH is turned on counter barrage from the Ved 1. So, yeah, and we do have the shells coming in. So the Priest is able to counter some of these Nazi artillery pieces. The problem is we just have more coming. Like, he loses one, he builds another one. He's floating a Guerrillian resources. Holy fuck! That is a conscript squad wipe. Also some Panzerwerfer. He is lucky that the Priest survives. Right. So that is the danger, actually, of getting counter battery in KO2, is the fact that often you're gonna put your artillery piece near something else, right? So when the counter battery counters your barrage, you better be damn sure that there's not going to be any collateral damage coming into the rest of the game. So here comes the Sherman Firefly. That means that the Panzerwerfers get out. But again, these Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer tanks are just able to easily counter this. By just being Panzer Grenadiers, Panzer said, oh yes. We have 1488 Michael Whitman Tigers. The nickname we've all had once in our lives, back when we were little teenage internet Nazis. Yeah, this is probably pretty good. Like, I just don't see the Allies able to concentrate too much on this guy. Now, as I said, the Allies did get quite a bit of anti-vehicle, the German Firefly and the Jacksons. So this Tiger isn't really going to have that much of a field day. I don't predict it like getting 700 trillion kills, but it's going to do well enough. It's especially going to be useful up in the north. I'm pretty sure this Tiger should just be hanging around this area, because it would be doing well against these guards. It would be doing well against, you know, any other Soviet unit really that is up here, and it would not be really facing any opposition from the tank destroyers up here. I don't think that you would see like much of a Jackson slash Firefly presence up here. I would much rather, if I were the Allies, place these guys in the southern and central portions of the map, as I already said. So getting the Tiger up there would be good, and not sending in Tiger against possibly an entire enemy force without any infantry support, probably also a good idea. Now, looks like the British guy went for a second EVRE. Do I disagree? Probably. Like, a lot of this German power right now is coming from the, again, the indirect fire, the artillery, rockets. I really don't see how the AVRE helps against that, unless you can, like, sneak around and spigot an artillery gun. In which case a medium tank could be just as effective. The medium tank is going to be useful for warplanes. So, I don't know, I'm just not really... Oh, but he might get the chance to do some trolling. Now, the Panther over here is moving in, but he got into a hell of a hornet's nest. Oh. He's gonna die because he gets AVRE'd. Yeah, he might die also because the close air support, the stupid close air support decided to target the ZSU half-track instead of the Shermans. Tiger goes down. As I said, no infantry support, bit of an issue there, please. And we're gonna have some random Stuka close, sorry, not close air support, Stuka dive bombing strike almost takes out one of the Shermans. But yeah, as I said, these M4C Shermans doing really well, the Jackson died, but it was in a good enough position at a good enough time to get a lot of damage off on the Panther, and the AVRE, to be honest, got lucky. Like, in my opinion, that was just luck that he was able to hit that shot on the Tiger. So, yeah. Well, I guess I just gotta eat my own words now, do I? Guess the troll is just too epic. So AVRE gets an excellent mortar round on the Panzer IV that had been stunned by the target tread. So yeah, guess this was pretty good. Nice combo. I'm liking this AVRE ADC being used together. I just didn't expect the AVRE to actually be particularly useful the second time around, because usually after the first, after the first few minutes, the AVRE starts to not be quite as, insane, because generally the Axis get more used to dodging around and shit. Okay, I guess this guy's just gonna win the game all on his own. Takes out a Panzer IV and a Vet 3 Grenadier squad. So yeah, this puts Elusive Man into a very shitty position. Now, the Axis do have a bit of a triple gap coming in, but the north looks like it's going to be recaptured by the Soviet Guards. The center is still a bit of a German stronghold, and we have all the Stukas and, Panzerwerfers up here, so yeah. That is a Firefly. The Germans are in the funny number. Okay, they're not down to the final number anywhere. They're down to 68 VPs, and we do actually have a triple cap coming in from the Allies, which could potentially be incredibly dangerous, because there's 1 minute. There's 1 minute left, and I'm not sure that the Germans really have like the forces required to retake these points. But, looks like, oh, there goes one squad being deleted, but you can only delete one squad at a time if they're spread out, so the second squad is going to cap the southern VP and prevent the triple cap from coming in. 4 Schmiegers and more Panzer Grenadiers coming in the middle. This could be second VP recaptured. The guards are flanking. They're flanking the support cannons. They're worse support cannons, I guess. But they're going to be stopped by this MG-43, so they need to get the hell out of there. And overall, it doesn't look like the Germans are really going to take that much damage in the meantime, but again, this AVRE has been doing its own thing. It's been very effective. Now, there's still just a constant setting up of these LEFH artillery guns. What basically Elusive Man seems to be betting on is that he can build these things faster than Nangu's priests / the Katyushas can tear them down. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this. What was I going for with that? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he seems to be having this calculation, and it's just a bit of an artillery duel, it seems. Like, we have priests shelling this, pioneers trying to build, I'm guessing, reinforcement bunkers to reinforce the crew / medic stations, but it looks like the priests eventually are going to come on top of this duel. Wait, you can upgrade both? Excuse me? What? Holy shit. Are we sure that this is not a bug? Anyway, second Tiger on the field. So, yeah, there goes all 3 of these artillery pieces, but crucially only one has been actually destroyed. Oh, it didn't, like, missile destruction some more. The M4C Shermans are pushing in! Why? Why? Excuse me, why? Why are you throwing? Oh no, the Soviet is throwing so hard. Like, he wanted to kill the Speer Panzer quarters, so he pushes up with almost no support into unscouted territory, and then he gets flanked by a Panzer IV. Well, this is a big turning point, because the veterancy on those tanks was important. Veterancy on Soviet tanks in general, M4C Shermans in particular, is quite important, because when you get up to that Vet 2 or Vet 3, I don't remember exactly which, the rate of fire goes up exponentially. At some point also I think the penetration might go up. So losing this is actually a lot more painful than what it meets the eye, because yeah, sure, it wasn't a lot of resources. He has enough fuel to build both of those tanks back up. But actually, accruing that veterancy back up is going to be incredibly difficult, because the Germans, late game, they just do better. So, yeah, there's just not as many windows open for the Soviet tanks to get into cheap, easy damage that gets you veterancy. Therefore, since they have less veterancy, they're going to do less damage. Therefore, they're going to get less veterancy. Now, the Tiger seems to have decided to suicide, which is obviously giving the Sherman Firefly veterancy, but the AVRE goes down. I really wouldn't call this a worthy trade, though. I think the Germans are still down on this trade. So now, since the Soviets are severely weakened, at least for a little bit, group targeting for increased weapon penetration, improving on targeting and rate of fire. Yeah, this Vet 2, Vet 3 is really, really good. Also because these crews navigate the battlefield with ease is incredibly good because they just zip around. And yeah, in general, there's just a lot of perks to having these guys be Vet 2, Vet 3. They can do some work. They can do some nasty work. Now, are they gonna get that veterancy back up ever? We'll never know. We will in 10 or 15 minutes. Now, Elusive Man has actually gone for a half track to reinforce his LEFH howitzers as they get bombarded. Again, it looks like the priests are winning this duel, but already the fact that he's sort of forcing the American guy to just spam out priests, which are doing nothing. Let's face it, they're doing nothing all day, but targeting these artillery pieces is, I guess, okay. Because at least Elusive Man has his Panzer IVs. Like, at least he's doing something other than the artillery. The American, at this point, seems to only be doing the artillery, so, I don't know. He's trading an entire player's worth of attention for a 75% of a player's worth of attention. I'm not sure how that exactly works out, but it looks to be working out well. Oh, nice Katyusha. What are these Katyushas looking like? 21 kills, 2 kills. What are the, Ew. One Panzerwerfer dead. In fact, it was the one with the most kills and the most veterans. So the second Panzerwerfer still at 18 kills, 2.5 levels of vet. Definitely good. And yeah, the AESC is still alive. The Sherman Firefly is still alive. We have a Comet coming for Genesis. Now, I would have definitely supported this earlier. I'm not 100% on it now, but I guess the Comet can never be too bad of an idea. Especially because it can be useful in this scenario, because the allies are severely lacking mobility. Nice usage of the Priest, by the way, in destroying the anti-tank gun. The allies are severely lacking, as I said, in mobility. Only the Soviet guy had a little bit of mobility with those F4C Shermans. And yeah, so getting that Comet might be useful. Also because the Comet is not too shabby when it comes to dealing with infantry, and of course the Germans have turned around the infantry game and they are now superior. In fact, there's like really, really little allied infantry, so little that when the Panzergrenadiers push up, everything just has to kind of get the hell out of here. And the priests are getting shelled with artillery. The Panzergrenadiers of Panzerschrecks might get the kill if it wasn't for the ZSU half-track standing here. Oh, but he does fire the Panzerschreck from suppressed position. He might get wiped though, and that's a bet free. How pathetic is the Johnny's Thompson though? What the fuck? Is it nerfed? But they do get to kill, and let's see if they're really, really nerfed. Yeah, they're kind of nerfed, not gonna lie. That's not a lot of damage coming in, although those are bet 5. Okay, yeah, right, those are bet 5 and bet 3s. They probably have a lot of, like, dodge, or whatever the fuck it's called. Accuracy reduction on them. So, Comet gets the wipe on the bet 5 Bolsheviks. That already... I'm not sure if that, like, pays for the entire Comet, but that's definitely incredibly valuable. Because those Vet 5 Bolsheviks is really rare stuff. Oh! Nice! I love it when Wings do incoming heroes. Doing a nice bit of a crush on the allied infantry. How many, by the way? LEFH artillery produced 9, lost 12. Holy shit. So, okay, let's actually explain what this means. This means that he has actually built 9 howitzers. And they have been decrewed 12 times. So, like, he has recrewed them 3 plus however many, 3 plus 3, 6 times. He has recrewed them 6 times, built 9 of them. Now, I see that he has actually gotten quite a bit of vehicle damage, which I'm guessing it also includes buildings. I don't remember exactly, but I think it includes buildings. with 169% efficiency. Now, let's check out, actually, for comparison's sake, the American with the priests. So he's produced 5 and lost 2. So straight off the bat, you cannot recruit a priest unless it gets, obviously, abandoned, but that's much rarer than the artillery piece being abandoned. Now, produced 5, lost 2. So this means he's produced 4 less of them. They are slightly more expensive than the LEFH gun, but it still says 194% efficiency. Somehow it's a higher efficiency than the LEFHs, which have a lot more damage, as you can see. Also a lot more infantry damage, 2,802, as opposed to, oh, actually 4,000. Okay, never mind, I'm retarded. So actually, the priests are doing more infantry damage, but as you can see, there's quite a small amount of vehicle damage. This is probably because the crews are counted as infantry, most likely. This is pretty weird. Just getting used to it, but the gun itself is counted as vehicle damage. I don't know, so kind of inconclusive on this whole artillery duel nonsense. But as you can see, both sides over here, both the American guy and Russell man, are having to sort of spend a lot of effort and resources on this artillery duel. Now, here comes the M4Cs, but these are not the M4Cs that we used to know. And yeah, not being vet free basically means that they don't get the kill on this Panther. And there appears to be a second Panther and some Panzer Grenadiers chasing. Now, the Panther seems to be having a bit of trouble with the road. But there isn't exactly a lot of allied counters to this. Yeah, okay. Get out. Let's get that hell out of here. Pink kills on the Stuka. Not the most effective thing I've ever seen. But it's working out, I guess. Still 26 on this Panzerwerfer. There's still a bit of a fight going on in the bottom VP now. Let's just appreciate for half a second just how close the Germans are to doom. They have 28 VPs, which means that if the Allies can cap 2 VPs for 3 minutes, the Allies win. Also, if the Allies, for 1 minute and a half, they win. And if they cap 3 VPs for half a minute, they win. And the Germans have been able to stave this off for the entire time. In fact, I'm thinking that this camouflage over here is having quite a bit of an impact on this, because he can just come in with these Grenadiers, camouflage themselves on the VP, sort of punch above his weight, really, with the ambush shots, and not die to random shit because of the camouflage. Now, the Panthers are going to die in the middle, but the point is still neutral, and honestly, the Panthers are not particularly crucial to the Axis strategy right now. Another Panther from Matthias comes in, and it's going to take out the Firefly. The Firefly, which was attempting to get a finishing blow off on the other Panthers. I'm not sure why this Panther decided to suicide. The other Panther also decided to suicide, and the turret is kind of derping and not really rotating in the correct direction, but it does take out one of the M4Cs, so it's gonna be 2 Panthers traded for an M4C and a Firefly. Here comes the smoke bombing just slightly too late. Just slightly. And in the meantime, the Panzer Grenadiers and the Panzerschrecks, instead of supporting in the vehicle fight, which... okay. Love seeing this. Instead of supporting in the vehicle fight, which is probably unfeasible, decided to decap the Northern VP, at the price of their lives, but I am liking the fact that he actually sent them in there to die, because this means that right now the VPs are still in a neutral position. And yeah, we do have the Grenadiers coming in while the infantry sections are capping the southern VP. We do have a bit of a Schrodinger's VP going on over here, where like if I wasn't looking at any of these sides, I couldn't really guess whether or not it was Allied or Axis, or both at the same time somehow. I guess the quantum mechanics of Company of Heroes 2 are just kind of weird, because it's just super fluid. The situation, holy shit, that came to river. The situation is super fluid. Wherever the Axis are, they come in and they cap a VP. Wherever the Allies are, they come in and they cap a VP. And then this stays capped for a little bit, and then they abandon it, and it gets capped by the enemy side. There's a bit of a guerrilla warfare going on, which is it's going to the Germans' favor, to be honest, because they just need to stall until they can do some extra damage. Now, it's still down to the wire, really, because the Germans are down to very, very few units, and especially very, very few useful units. Now, the comets could be key to the Allies' success in the near future, but they appear to be moving in unsupported, and this, of course, means that, you know, the Pats and the Panzerschrecks are going to eat them alive. Yep. Bit of a Fallschirmjäger drop. Oh, nice machine gun. Bit of a Fallschirmjäger drop, and the north is being recapped by a Vetfree conscript. But the middle has been capped by the Germans in the meantime. So again, just barely holding on to dear life. And yeah, it doesn't matter how much, you know, how much bed you got on that conscript. If it's well, okay. Guess the conscript beats the Fallschirmjäger? Is there something I'm missing here? How did that Fallschirmjäger lose that engagement? Oh well, the enemy are down to 25 points. This means that it's 66 seconds away from an Allied victory. We do, however, have a Panzer IV watching over the southern VP. Over the middle, we do not have many German forces, but they're very close, and it doesn't look like there's much Allied infantry over here anyway. Here comes the Royal Engineers. Empressy Shermans are pushing up, but the lead Sherman almost is destroyed, and the Nazis are going to come in with a lot of infantry and cap down south. The priests are all reloading. They're still all firing at the LEFHs, which are still continuously being rebuilt and recrewed and counter-batterying and, you know, barraging. Oh, they've managed to take out the M2HB 50 caliber machine gun, which is obviously very important, because now this means that the Panzer Grenadiers can come down here and cap. The Grenadiers capping in the middle get protected by the smoke run from the Stuka smoke reconnaissance. So that's obviously quite good. Oh, you should probably have gone and captured this MG and just placed it here to, you know, for its decapping attempts. Oh well, oh no, you should be holding fire. Okay, he gets lucky. He gets lucky to don't come into visual range, so they're able to keep stealth and cap. Should have probably held fire so that they wouldn't, you know, break stealth randomly and they could cap stealthily. Another AVRE is on the field, and the Axis are down to 8 points. They're being pushed basically to their base area, but there's a Vetfree Pat 40 in the flank, getting in some excellent shots on the AVRE. This is forcing the AVRE to retreat without really firing the spigot or doing much. Panzer IV is taking heavy damage from the AEC, but the AEC, the Vetfree AEC that's been long the entire game, finally meets its match in a random Vet 2 Panther coming in through the smoke and destroying it. Panzer IV decreased the AT gun. there's British infantry actually coming in to cap the VPs, which would be very, very dangerous because of the 8 VPs left. But the Panzerwerfer completely pins them. Here also comes a incendiary artillery barrage from who? I don't know. I really don't know what this incendiary artillery barrage is doing here. It's working in the favor of the Germans, though, to be sure. Wait, is it the Stuka? Is the Stuka dead here? No, yeah, it was the Stuka with the incendiary rockets. So, incendiary rockets doing quite nicely and sort of stalling the decap. Here comes the neutralization. No, the Panzergrenadiers get it in time to stop it from being neutral. This is, of course, pretty good because the Allies are ticking down and it also ticks back up the Germans automatically so that the next time it's going to take longer for the Allied infantry to decap it. Fallschirmjägers flanking around the NG, gonna destroy it. The Free Priests are still here, still not being particularly useful for much except for suppressing the LEFHs, but the LEFH guerrilla warfare is still ongoing. There are still more LEFHs being built. M4C Shermans coming in and destroying something. There's a lot of fires. I have no idea. This looks like a rocket 1991. So yeah, it appears like the oil fields are indeed burning. I'm guessing these were the... No, there's still these Panzer over here. And I have absolutely no clue as to what these things are. One M4C Sherman dies in the process. In fact, the second M4C Sherman dies to something in the rear. Maybe a random artillery shot? Maybe the pack? Maybe a mine? Nobody but dead. They were never able to regain that bet-free status that was so useful to the Soviets earlier on. I still think that's, like, unironically the most important, like, loss the Allies accrued in the entire game. Like, if that had not happened, maybe this game would be going a little differently. Because the M4C Shermans would be able to oppress the Germans a little bit more. Now, the Allies are coming in and they're trying to recap the southern VP, and that would obviously be pretty good, but the Allies are running very low on infantry right about now. There's about 4 squads in the southern area, which is as much as the Axis are able to muster, and the Axis have more that can come in after they reinforce. Now, the AVRE is still around. The AVRE can try to get himself a nice wipe. It's not being used. The Panzer IV intervenes, and this is of course going to be quite crucial. But here comes the Comet. Is the Comet going to go in? Maybe it should be, because the Panzer IV is stunned by the AVRE round. Main gun destroyed, but the Panzer Grenadiers are able to decap the VP, and the Smoke Run is able to cloak them for the continuation of the decapping. In the meantime, in the north, the Fallschirmjägers are able to decap the northern VP, and there doesn't seem to be much that the Soviet guy can do to stop it somehow, even though he's got, again, these 2 guards riflemen that are heavily vetted. At this point, maybe he should look for another half-crack assault group, get another assault guards, and another ZSU anti-aircraft, and just place the ZSU over here, trying to lock down the VP. I'm not sure if it would be an extremely effective move, but I guess it would be better than nothing. It doesn't look like he's having many vehicle problems anyway, it's just the random Fallschirmjägers coming in and capping. So one of the Fallschirmjägers goes down, the other Fallschirmjäger over here is going to be completely wiped out, I'm guessing by his guards. He is barely able to escape, and the M4C is mowing down those Sturmhaus, so the northern VP is going to go back under Allied stewardship. The southern VP, though, is still kind of contested. There is a Panther, hello! Why do you not kill everything here? Okay, then he pops Blitz, and there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing that can stop this guy. This guy is suffering from a bit of a target-rich environment syndrome, it appears. He can literally shoot at, like, a lot of things, and it doesn't appear like he's able to focus on anything. The priest does get decrewed, but it goes down. Vet-free Panther. There doesn't appear to be anything that can stop this guy. The Ura conscripts have finished the Ura without getting into grenade range. The other vet-free priest is getting shot at, but again, we have a bit of a target focus issue from this Panther. He keeps shooting at different things the entire time. Is he not on prioritized vehicles? No, he must be. Then why did he shoot at an infantry? Must not have shot at an infantry. Must have been missed round. Anyway, yeah, the Allies are in full retreat except for the Sam-4C, which again, not vet-free, not able to outpace or outshoot or really outmatch the armor of said Panther. And in fact, we do have another abstract assault group coming in, Compressor, who is the only guy that is really able to hold a coherent sort of position out of the entirety of the Allied player base. And we have 3 VPs left for the Allies. The infantry section is capping middle, but the Panther were first coming in. The infantry section went out of the VP slightly, which allowed the Grenadiers to come back in. Another infantry section is trying to cap the south, but there's Panther Grenadiers. And, yeah. The Allies just seem to have run out of steam. Another Tiger from Matthias, who is just, you know, he's just adopting the throwing up shit at the problem, and some of it is gonna stick. I guess throwing enough spaghetti at a wall, some of them are going to stick. And let's just say that it appears to be working. Now, if I were the Germans right now, I would completely ignore the North. I would just completely ignore this. Why? Because just think about this. Play it safe. You need... The most important thing right now is the fact that you have 3 VPs left. In other words, if any VP gets capped, you lose. You just lose. Unless you're capping another VP at the same time. So if you're wasting any effort on a VP held by the enemy, instead of keeping the 2 VPs that are preventing you from, you know, losing tickets, you should probably prevent the losing of tickets, right? And there's a massive final battle going on that's such a clusterfuck that I don't feel like any commentary over here is going to provide decent analysis on this. The Soviet guy knew that this was the correct German strategy, so the correct strategy for him would have been to support his allies in taking the middle VP, but it appears like, again, just the geography of the map, or I suppose the topography, it's a city. Yeah, the topography combined with the fact that he lost his M4C Shermans meant that his flank was not exactly the most effective thing I've ever seen. And again, if the Axis can reliably hold the center and south and just slow bleed the Allies, it's a slow and steady wins the race approach. But if they try to also go for the north and try to overdo it, and, you know, then if even one infantry unit that would be required to defend the other 2 VPs is capping up here, and it's not, and it's, you know, the Axis are not successful in holding the southern VP or the middle VP, then they lose instantly. So, yeah. That being said, Jimmy is still going for the north VP, which might work only because the Allies are really down. Really down. We've lost a lot during these last few engagements. And it does manage to neutralize it, but as you can see, this almost gave the Allies the opportunity to cap the southern VP. Nice. Nice with these 80 guns. They are indeed able to keep these Comet at bay, and in fact, the Grenadiers are building a bunker Oh no. Major arty. Light artillery barrage. It's gonna come down to the melee. It's gonna come down to the RNG on the artillery. Why did you retreat? Like, why are you retreating when the score is looking like this? You know. Okay, let me call it. The Axis are going to win. But if that infantry section had stayed in that VP, you know, when you have less than one integer as VPs, is that how you say it in English? Integers, like, you know, a one integer number is 4, two integers is 40. Two, yeah, that must be it. Or maybe the integer is the entirety of the thing. I don't know how to say it. When there's one thing, one digit, right? One digit. I'm tired. When you have a one-digit VP count, the T button, the retreat, should probably just not exist. Just, you should never retreat out of the VP because unit preservation doesn't matter anymore. It objectively just doesn't matter. So you might as well just waste your units to cap VPs because if you don't cap it, you lose. If that guy had stayed there, cap, I'm thinking that the Allies would have won because I think it was like 75%, or sorry, 25% cap, which means that it would have been like 10 or so more seconds for the BP to be capped. The Allies have 12 seconds left. Or if for it to be neutralized. The Allies have 12 seconds left, which means it would have been neutralized after 10 seconds, and the Allied VP would have been at 1. The Allies would have had 1 VP, or 2, or maybe 0 if I'm counting this wrong, but between 0 and 2 VPs, the Axis are down to 3 VPs, and because of the smoke that the Axis dropped, this would have provided the infantry section with enough time to then actually cap, you know, also sending in whatever else. And there's not really much, although I guess these Panzer Grenadiers might be able to, but there's also all the armor, there's the AVRE, there's the machine gun. So I'm just not, I'm thinking that if that infantry section had not gotten out of there, then the Allies would have won. Instead, now they lose because the Panzer Grenadiers are able to come in and sub it. In fact, even if the Panzer Grenadiers have not gotten in, the 1 BP. Look, like, it took the MG. Oh, so the MG got up the setup, which takes like a second and a half for the Vet 2 Vickers or whatever. Walked into the BP 1 more second, 2.5 seconds, and still got 75% of the cap. So had that infantry section stayed there, this VP right now would be capped by the Allies, and let me tell you, these Panzer Grenadiers, I think it wouldn't have been enough. I think the Allies could have won had they just not retreated this one guy. You, my friend, have just lost your team the game. So anyways, I think I've said enough about this fucking replay. And I'm just gonna leave it right there. So yeah, I wanna thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. And I'll see you soon.